Hello everyone, welcome to Get Started with the Lightning Platform. My name is Annie and I am a developer evangelist here at Salesforce. How you can reach me is by email annie.he@salesforce.com or on Twitter at anniehehe. Alright, so today we're going to get started with the Lightning Platform, but before I get to the fun stuff, here's the forward-looking statements. Please base your purchasing decisions on what is currently available and not on any forward-looking statements I may make. Good news, I'm not planning to make any forward-looking statements today because everything I'm about to show you is publicly available. Alright, so what is the Lightning Platform and how can you use it to build apps of the future? Well, Lightning Platform is provided by Salesforce. You may know Salesforce as a leading cloud-based CRM. Well, Salesforce is more than just a CRM. Apparently, you can build apps on it using the Lightning Platform. That's right, you can build custom apps on the Lightning Platform. Applications built on the Lightning Platform uses the same infrastructure as Salesforce and also gets trust and security as Salesforce is known for. You can also use the same tools that Salesforce uses to create applications, including Lightning Web Components, which is the latest programming model. Finally, it's easy to deploy your apps to your users as they're both already on the cloud. Okay, here's a question. When you're developing on the Lightning Platform, which of these departments can you develop apps for? Well, that's a trick question because when you're developing on the Lightning Platform, you can build apps for any of these departments. That's right, you can create apps for any department on the Lightning Platform. For example, if your finance department wants a custom expense reporting application, within Salesforce, you can extend the data model to have expense reports tied to accounts and opportunities and power it with business logic, all within Salesforce. All right, how can the Lightning Platform help you build apps faster? Salesforce is the fastest path from idea to app because it gives you everything you need to build apps fast. Instead of buying and setting up hardware, software, networking, and piecing together a development stack, you can focus on solving the business problem. All the platform services underpinning Salesforce will be available to you. For example, you can use the no-code builder tools and the coding tools to rapidly define your data schema, sharing model, workflow, collaboration, reporting dashboards, and your UI. Okay, so what do you actually get when you build on the trusted platform? First of all, let me emphasize how Salesforce is the trusted platform because at Salesforce, our #1 corporate value is trust. There's over 5.5 million apps built on the Salesforce platform because Salesforce provides trusted services. Every app built on Salesforce comes with infrastructure, network, and app security services. You can go to trust.salesforce.com to see real-time performance and availability information. Every new release gets run through 108 million tests. We build trust into every layer of app development, infrastructure, network, and application services, so you don't have to. All right, which tools do you get when you build apps on the Lightning Platform? Well, you get all of these tools to customize the behavior and appearance of your enterprise app. For example, when modeling data, you can do that through the browser, through the UI, or through the CLI, the command line interface. After that, you can integrate your Salesforce app through the API. Then in the UI, you can use out-of-the-box list and detailed views. If you want to have custom components, you can get them from AppExchange, which is our version of the App Store. Or you can build them using Lightning Web Components, which is the latest programming model. Then, if you want to edit a page or configure components without writing code, you can use Lightning App Builder, which is our WYSIWYG layout editor. What about automating business processes? You can do that using the Process Builder. For more advanced cases, you can use Apex, which is our cloud-based programming language. You can use Apex to automate business processes, schedule tasks, and make HTTP calls. All right, so as a Salesforce developer, day-to-day, which tools do you actually use? Well, if you're editing the page or configuring components, you can use the Lightning App Builder. If you're automating processes, you can use the Process Builder. I will show both of these builder tools in the demo shortly. What about when you actually need to write code? You can use the Developer Console. You can write Apex and query data through the Developer Console. However, if you're more of an IDE person like myself, you can use Visual Studio Code. There's a Salesforce extension for Visual Studio Code, which makes syntax highlighting so much easier. Then there's Salesforce DX. DX stands for Development Experience. It's a suite of tools, including a command line interface to make app development so much easier. All of these tools are available to you when building custom apps in the Lightning platform, and they're also complementary. All right, enough talk, let's look at a custom app built for an electric bike manufacturer. With a custom app, I'm going to show you some Apex, some Lightning Web components, the Lightning App Builder, and we'll also automate a process using the Process Builder. Let's go to e-bikes. Yes, so e-bikes is the custom app, as you can see here. First thing I want you to notice, there is a set of tabs over here. So an app on Salesforce is a bundle of tabs. Some tabs, such as accounts and contacts, refer to what we call standard objects. Objects in Salesforce just refer to tables in a database. That's right, you can think of Salesforce as a database on a very high level. So accounts and contacts, these objects are out of the box. We're going to go to products because it's a custom object. In other words, it's a user-defined object, which is a table in a database. What we see here is a standard list view. This UI is out of the box. We didn't need to build any components. You can see this is a list view of the products that we have available. Each record, which is row here, refers to a row in the database. All right, so we are going to look at product called Volt X4. This corresponds to a row in the database, and what we can see is there are some fields here: product name, description, picture URL. All of these refer to columns in the database. The fields refer to the columns. All right. I also want to point out that what we have here, this product component with the group of buttons and this big white component here, these are also out of the box. What is custom here is the similar products. The similar products, this Lightning Web component is custom. All right, you may be wondering, okay, how did you define the product data model? Where is it defined? If you go to Setup, which is the gear icon, and then you click on Edit Object, it will take you to a new tab, and you can see the object definition. So we are using the Object Manager, and we can see the details of the object. You can see it already has an API name. This is great for integrations. Then there's also this object is also custom because there's a checkbox here. You can see that this object is custom because there's a checkbox here, but there's also the __c. Whenever you see __c, it means this object here is custom, which means user-defined. If we want to see the fields, we can see there's a lot of fields defined here. This is all user-defined. You can see there's __c. It's a user-defined field. And you can see they have different data types. For example, the battery is text with at most 100 characters. We can see some of the familiar fields. The picture URL, it's a URL type. And the product name is, again, a text type. All right, so this is where you define your data schema, and you can also create new fields. All of this you can do throughout the UI. All right, let's go back to products. And I just walked over how you can create your own custom fields and where the fields are defined. Let's go to explore more products, the Product Explorer. All right, the thing to know with the Product Explorer is is it has not one, but 3 custom components. That's right, this filter component is custom, as well as the product tile list and the details component, which is yet to be populated. I want to show you something very cool. As I resize the browser, you can see that the product tile list, the center components, will resize from 3 columns to 2 columns. And then to 1 column. 1 column? Yeah, there you go. And then to 2 columns. And back to 3 columns. All right. So all of these components are built using Lightning Web Components, and the middle one is responsive. Actually, it's also paginated. You can see we can go to the next page and go to the previous page, and so on. This is a very cool component. All right, I'm going to show you how these 3 components interact with each other. For example, let's filter some bikes. Let's filter by price first. We're looking for bikes under $2,400, and we have 4 options here. Let's filter by key. If we go for key of X4, we're left with just 1 bike. And when I click on that bike, voila, now we can see the details component, and it's populated with the picture and the details. This is very cool. You may be wondering, okay, let's see some code. Like, how does this actually work behind the scenes? I will show you the code for the most advanced components, which is the product tile list. So let's go to Visual Studio Code. This is the product tile list.js. Every Lightning Web component has to have at least one JavaScript folder. You'll notice that it calls get products, and it calls an Apex file. Before we go to the Apex code, I want to show you that this is the very basic component structure for the Lightning Web component. First of all, there's a JavaScript file, then there is the config file. You'll notice that we have defined 2 properties that are Boolean. This is pretty important because I will show you later in the demo what that means in the UI. Then, because this is a UI component, there's also some HTML. You'll notice that there's a template keyword. That is from the latest web component standard. There's also a CSS file, but that is optional. Okay, let's go back to the JavaScript file, and you'll notice that we are calling some Apex. It's a file called product controller. All right, so let's navigate to that quickly in Visual Studio Code, and we can see that get products actually looks like this. So this is a pretty standard Apex method, and you can see that Apex is strongly typed because page result is actually a class that is user defined. This get products method just takes an input of filters and page number. Remember how product tile list is paginated, and it goes through and builds a query. Actually, it builds 2 queries, and then we execute these 2 dynamic queries on line 56 and 57. This is all basically what this method does. Now, if that looks a little complex, here's a simpler example. Get similar products. This is called on the first custom components we saw, and all it does is query the data. And you can see there's some custom fields here with __C. Awesome. So that is a very brief tour of Apex and Lightning Web Components. Let's head back to our demo. All right. Let's go to reseller orders because, well, eBikes needs to make some money. So we are going to create a new reseller order of account Trailblazers. I want you to notice on this page that everything you have seen so far on this page is standard, meaning out of the box. We didn't need to build any components for this to happen. And okay, all right, even this green toast component is standard. What is custom on this page is this product tile list. You can see the product tile list again. It has a search key. And then this component here with the order total, these are custom components. All right, let's fill some orders. We're just going to drag some bikes and we're going to plop it down in the order. And we'll notice that total items automatically updated. We're gonna update some quantities for this Dynamo bike. Let's see, the order is 222, so we are going to have 6 bikes for this order, and you can see the total items updated to 6. Let's add more bikes, and you notice that total items updated to 9. If this order has 10 medium bikes for Dynamo X2, we're going to click on the check mark to save, and you see the total items update. Another example of great inter-component communication. All right, so we just created an order and we populated it. Let's see what we can do with this page, because as an admin, we can do a lot of things without writing any code. So we are on this page, the reseller orders page, and as an admin, I just found out that, hey, the orders are going to be delayed. Oh, I need to let my users know. How am I going to do that? Well, I can go to the rich text component and then can add it to the page. Voila, it's added to the page without writing a lot of code. And because it's a rich text component, I can even style the message. Okay, so I added the message. I'm going to turn it into red because that's, well, more visual. And then made it bigger. I also want to center it. All right, so we just added that component to the page, but until we save it, it's not on the page yet. Okay, save. Before we head back to the page, I want to show you something very cool. Remember the 2 Boolean attributes we saw in the code? Well, they actually show up here. First of all, there's the checkbox for search bar visible. It is visible. Then there's a product tile. These tiles are draggable. We're going to leave the product tiles as draggable. We're going to hide the search bar. See? We hit it. We're going to show it again. We hide it. We show it again. Okay, we're hiding it. So we're going to save the page. And when we go back to the page, we expect to see the new components and the hidden search bar. All right, yes, we have the new component up here, alerting our users, and then we hit the search bar. That was very cool, and I didn't have to write a single line of code. Okay, let's now automate a business process without writing any code. How do we do that? Well, first of all, let's create a field that we can automate on. We are going to go to setup, and we're going to edit this object to add a field. Okay, we are going to add a pick list field. So I just went to new and click new, and now we're on this page, and we are going to check pick list, and we're going to call it a stage. So this is a stage of the reseller order. Let's enter some values. So the stage of the orders can be these, and we are going to add it to the page. And save. Okay. Okay, well, this is fun. Yeah, okay, so stage field should be there after we refresh this page. And yeah, we see the stage field. Let's set the default value for this order to draft. Okay, see how that was really simple to add a field. Now let's add the business process. We're going to go back to setup, and we're going to click on home. On the quick find, we're going to look for process builder. All right, process builder is very fun to use. We'll show you how it's done. So first of all, so we're just going to say reseller order, and you can see the API name is auto-populated. And the process is going to start when a record changes, so we're going to click save. And now you see this flowchart. It's pretty easy to just fill it in. First, we're going to find the object that we're going to automate on, so reseller order. We're going to look for when a record is created or edited. Then we're going to add a criteria is ordered. And we're going to base it on a field called stage, which is the field we just created. The value is when it's set to ordered, we want to do something. Okay, we're gonna add that to the immediate action. You can see we have some action types. You can call Apex, you can create record or update records, or post to Chatter, or even send emails. We're going to post to Chatter. All right, action name is take it to Chatter. And we're going to post to a Chatter group that already exists. It's called incoming orders. All right, so we can define the message that we want to send. We are going to make a custom per order because we're going to put the order, the account name here. So it's going to say account name, place the new order. And this is going to be posted to the group incoming orders. I'm going to save it. And before we can actually test it out, we need to activate this process. Okay, we activated it. All right, let's go back to our process or reseller order. We are going to change it to ordered. All right. What we expect to see in Chatter is we should see a new message. Aha! Accounts Trailblazers placed a new order. Yay! Okay, so process builder works, as you just saw. Wonderful. So that was the very fun demo showing you the custom app and a little bit of Apex Lightning Web Components, but also the Lightning App Builder and the Process Builder. Now, you know everything that to build a custom app on the Lightning platform. And best of all, as I mentioned, Salesforce is not just a CRM, it's a suite of products. So you can build apps for multiple products. So that just extends your reach as a developer, and you can surface very interesting data because at Salesforce, we have lots of customer data. Awesome. So how do you get started as a Salesforce developer? You can head over to Trailhead, which is the fun way to learn Salesforce. Here's a special link, bit.ly/Salesforce_career will take you to a trail mix, which is a list of Trailhead projects designed to jumpstart your Salesforce career. By the way, if you have more questions for Apex on Lightning Web Components, there are separate webinars for those coming down the pipeline. Thank you for your time, and I will take any questions. Are there any questions from the webinar? No questions so far? All right, it seems that there's no further questions. As I said, the best place to get started as a Salesforce developer is go to Trailhead. You can search for Apex on Lightning Web Components. We'll also have more webinars for Apex and Lightning Web Components down the line. If you have any special questions for me, you can email me, annie.he@salesforce.com, or on Twitter @anniehehe. Oh, I just got a question. First of all, how to install Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code is a free IDE provided by Microsoft. So you can go to the Visual Studio Code the webpage and install it there. The Salesforce extension is when you already have the Visual Studio Code. Here, I can show you in the Visual. Okay, so when you already have the Visual Studio Code, you can go to the extensions and search for Salesforce. There's a Salesforce CLI integration as well. So the Salesforce CLI will provide the DX, which is developer experience. And trust me, you will want to have the Salesforce DX integration because it makes working with Salesforce so much more fun. Yes, so this webinar is recorded. It will be posted on YouTube at a later date. Oh yes, more about Apex. So there's multiple ways to learn about Apex. First of all, you can go to Trailhead and search for Apex. There is a lot of Apex content on there. Then if you want to learn on, look at the documentation, there is developers.salesforce.com. If you look on there, you can find there is a lot of good resources. Specifically for Apex documentation, if you look at Apex Developer Guide, that will, if you Google Apex Developer Guide, that will take you straight away to the documentation. Yes, you can use Eclipse, which is a separate IDE. I am not entirely sure if there's a Salesforce extension for Eclipse. Working with the Salesforce extension and with the Salesforce developer experience makes development with Salesforce much more fun. Okay, I have another question about which developer skills are good to have to start, whether it's Java or JavaScript. That's a really good question because Java is more server-side, so Java is closer to Apex, which is great for querying data, for even performing DML, so data manipulation. Versus JavaScript, we use JavaScript a lot to create Lightning components, which are the custom UI components. So it's good to have both. And if you already have both, great. You can get started by heading over to Trailhead, where you can get hands-on and create JavaScript. Create JavaScript components on Salesforce, or write Apex and test it out. Yes, so if I have a question about the Salesforce test account. So the easiest way, why I say Trailhead is the easiest way to get started, because if you go to trailhead.salesforce.com, if you sign up, it is definitely free to sign up. Oh, okay. Well, I have multiple accounts. So it is free to sign up on Trailhead. And the good thing about signing up on Trailhead is that you will then get a hands-on org. That's a Trailhead org that is free for you to play with. Another option is if you want to go to directly to the Developer Edition sign up. The Developer Edition is also free, and you can sign up here. It is entirely free, I promise. And you can, there's a lot of features that it's just out of the box that you can use to play around and develop your developer skills. Both of these are free, by the way. Okay, well, if that is all, I'm going to say adieu. Again, you can find me on, by email, annie.he@salesforce.com, or on Twitter, Annie, he, that's Annie with A-N-N-Y. Thank you. Have a great day, folks.